all right, I want to take this portion and go through every single chapter and give you some behind the scenes footage, if you will, behind the why in every single chapter I wrote for Future Church. Now, the first chapter is called Edge of Opportunity. And what it really does is it sets the table for you to understand the why behind this book. Now, the catalyzing moment for me was when I had the privilege of traveling to Thailand to connect with 25 national youth directors from all over Asia Pacific. I mean, at the time, I was serving as a lead youth pastor in my church. And so when I had this opportunity, I'm like, I'm not going to mess this up. I hadn't spoken cross-culturally many times, and so I really wanted to give them the best of the best. At this time, God began to show me how this generation was rapidly changing and being informed by global influences. And so I began to unpack that at these meetings. As I'm unpacking it, the gentleman from Vietnam is talking excitedly with his translator, and the gentleman from Japan was bawling his eyes out. He was weeping. And so I stopped the room and I said, all right, what's going on? The gentleman from Vietnam said, Terry, for the first time ever, based on what you're saying is happening in America today, we can see, because of globalized culture, our young people are about 10 years out from where you're at today. But because we can see that, we can also plan and make the necessary changes to meet their needs before they even have those needs. I said, that's amazing. I looked to the gentleman from Japan and I said, can you tell me what's going on? And he said, Terry, 10 years ago, we were where you're at today. And we began to see the changes that we needed to make. So we talked to our leadership and said, hey, we need to make changes in the way we reach the next generation or global generation. They're being influenced by other cultures and values from other societies across borders and across boundaries. Can we change the way we reach them? And the leadership said, no. What you're saying to us is dishonoring to us. The way we set it up is good enough. And if you say it needs to change, then what you're really saying is we didn't do it good enough for you. No, it's good enough. Keep reaching them the way we set it up. He said, Terry, 10 years ago, we had an average of 30 teenagers in every church. Today, we have an average of 0.7 teenagers in every church. And at that moment, it woke me up. It made me begin to think, what if this happens in America? I mean, you read in the book of Joshua, right? And even post-Joshua, about after Joshua was gathered to his ancestors and all the elders were gathered to their ancestors, a generation rose up that didn't know the Lord. Why? How do you go through all of the Exodus? How do you go through all of taking the land? And then a generation rises up that's like, who's got? And yet that happened biblically. It happened in Japan. And it could happen on our watch. And I said, I'm going to spend my life. I'm going to give my life making sure that this doesn't happen where we are at today. And thus Future Church was born. I think of what it says in 1 Chronicles 12 about the tribe of Issachar, that God rose up 200 men from the tribe of Issachar to understand the signs of the times and know the best direction for Israel to take. And I believe without a shadow of a doubt that every single generation has a tribe of Issachar in it. And those who lead the next generation really are that tribe of Issachar. We really see what's happening in the next generation. The world says, if you want to know the future, look at the next gen. And so we have the opportunity to be able to see the next generation and then understand how to navigate the church into the future. And finally, disruption. Disruption is a huge piece of this book, and it really puts us at the edge of opportunity. As I said before, we have seen more disruptions in this generation in the last 5 years than the last 3 generations combined on a global scale. That's huge. And I'm not talking about interruption. Interruption is when you're going from point A to point B and something stops you. And once that's removed, you still go to the original point B. A disruption means there's a new point B plotted on the map, and you take a left turn and never go to the original point B. And we have seen so many disruptions take place. In fact, it's made many leaders of the church gun-shy about moving forward with the vision that God has given them. And I am here today to bring this book to you to really say, I don't think this is a problem. I don't think this is something to be scared of. It gives us an opportunity. I believe that the generation we have been praying for, a pragmatic, entrepreneurial, innovative generation, is rising up right now. And those of us leaving the church today have the privilege of passing on our fear or passing on our faith. We get to choose what we transmit. And I believe that what we're facing now today, more than ever, changes the world. And thus, Edge of Opportunity is a key chapter in understanding this book.